Start.
Okay.
Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
I want kombucha. Me too.
What is kombucha? I actually don't know what it is.
It's basically fermented.
Is
It's
it
like
supposed to clean your bowels or something?
no, it's like
I'm so mad.
it's like a fermented tea basically, and it just helps with your stomach
I
digestion.
feel like this is an ad now. Everyone, get your kombucha.
Where'd you get it from? Yeah, there you go. This girl's
There
running
you go.
ads. Came on to run ads.
Clean your bowels by Peter said. Yeah, we can get started now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you
Do you want to?
introduce?
Yeah. So
It's up to
this
you.
is episode what? Episode
5. Oh no, 4.
Yeah, episode 4.
Yeah.
So episode
Wait, 4?
Yeah. The one with Sam. Yeah, the mic wasn't working, so we're gonna do that.
You're lying.
Yeah, I know.
But it's okay. It's okay. We actually had a better conversation after.
Yeah,
the
we had
podcast.
bro. Sam,
Like the best
let
conversation
loose.
ever.
Bro, I
Sam
learned
honest.
about Sam.
Yeah, it was so good
we
after.
spoke.
Wait, why?
Because he's not a. Open
And I feel like he
person.
was like he came there a little hungry. You know, he
Yeah,
barely ate.
we were
You
at
know,
25k.
like
That wasn't a good idea.
yeah,
But
Yeah, you guys are
Why?
so-
Which camera?
and he
Either.
switches from.
yeah.
from
Switch.
both.
This one is showing all 3 of you guys. This one is on YouTube,
Oh,
and then
okay.
eventually I'm gonna get one just on like him sometimes. It's not
There
on
you
you guys right now, but
Yeah, no. So
There you
so
go.
Basically, yeah, this is episode 4. Em and Viv, let them do their thing. It's on anyway, so it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
we're
This is,
starting,
yeah,
alright.
this is casual, so
Okay,
there's no
no
like
problem.
nothing professional, you know.
Oh, did we just start?
Did we just?
Yeah, we started. Well, we started, we restarted again.
Okay,
But
okay.
this is episode 4, only because the one with Sam, like, yeah, the mic, and yeah, learned a lot about him after.
Cool.
But anyways,
Sam is
so
a character.
friends, Emily, Viv,
Hi.
met University of Guelph. What a time! We have crazy stories. Those are not gonna get shared.
No, we don't need to share them.
We don't. I don't want the followers knowing what I did.
Yeah,
in the car.
exactly.
Anyways,
That's incriminating
yeah,
yourself.
that is very, very incriminating. So tell
I
me.
think we have more incriminating stories of you than me and Em.
I don't think so.
1000%.
And Guelph.
No, I don't think so.
In
Yeah.
Guelph.
In Guelph? No, I
Yeah.
don't think
I can
so.
think
though.
of 3 at the top of my head right now.
I
I
can
don't
think
think
of
so.
one that's really in there.
Wait, can you say a key word?
You know what's
Can you say?
Oh,
a
I
key
have
word?
a keyword.
Uh-huh.
barfing.
Towel. Towel. Think.
I can't. Was I there? Yeah, Peter,
Wait, is the camera on me?
you lose that round.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Anyways.
I feel like we should end it here.
No. Okay, no. Actually, no. This is cool. So yeah, just tell me a little bit about yourself, and then from there we'll just go in because this is kind of different.
Okay.
I'm not gonna interview you guys like we're gonna have
Yeah.
kind of like conversation, some topics that I brought up that
Yeah.
you guys have already spoken about in private. So
Mhm.
Emily, Viv, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Take the
My name is Vivian.
Uh-huh.
Vivian Tran.
Uh-huh.
Oh shoot.
What?
Oh, cut that
Vivian,
out.
let's get rid of Guffy. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm using all of this. Uh-huh.
I don't know. What do I say about myself? Just
Like you're studying right now?
yeah, I'm studying.
Mhm.
I'm doing my master's right now in biotech.
Mhm.
That's pretty much it.
Mhm.
I'm vibing.
For those that are wondering, single?
Yes.
My name's
Okay. Emily.
And yeah, I went to Peter. I went nice.
Uh-huh.
I went with to Guelph with Peter and Viv.
Yeah.
Well, I met Viv kind of like outside of Guelph, and then I
Mhm.
met Peter through Viv.
Mhm.
Or I guess I met you from Viv. And then yeah, I studied environmental management,
Mhm.
and I want to get into like a career in basically like supply chain management, textile, environmental management, that type of stuff. Yeah, so right now I'm working for a nonprofit in sustainability,
Mhm.
and then yeah, that's about it. That's about
Okay,
it.
lovely.
Oh, and
My intro was
No,
terrible.
doesn't matter.
Should
No, it's fine.
I didn't
Okay.
redo it.
Actually, no. So let's go right into it. So
Yeah.
you guys had sent me a couple topics that I want to talk about. Actually, where I want to start. Oh, this is heavy. So basically, right now, yeah. Got your shoes on, strapped up.
hell,
Strapped up.
Okay, perfect. So basically, where I want to start, I feel like, and I've had this conversation with a lot of, or maybe not a lot of, but like a few women at this time. I feel like there's like a changing of, I guess you can say, society and culture, just in terms of the way women view whether it's relationships, marriage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I've never seen a change like that like happened so quickly. Maybe it's been happening over time and just haven't realized it. But I feel like it's happening so quickly now, where we had the conversation of like career versus family.
Okay.
And that's like a big, exactly. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
That's like, take a deep breath. That for me is like a big topic of conversation. So I just want to know, like, where do you guys sit on that spectrum right now?
Yeah, so I feel like I can only speak from where I am in my life, and because I'm very career focused right now, like academic focused right now, that is going to come first. I've had this conversation with Em, and she had the question of like, how do you think you're going to raise 3 kids or 4 kids? Because I want to have 3 to 4 kids when you're when your life is going to be primarily like your career, right? So I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest.
What is it you want to do, like, after university?
I want to work in biotech companies, specifically in the neuroscience niche. So whether they're looking at like therapeutic or innovative options for like neurodegenerative diseases, that'd be cool. Whether that's the operational side, I'm not quite too sure yet, but it is a heavy field. So I know like most of my time is going to be dedicated towards that within the next like 4 to 5 years of my life. But again, I can only speak for myself right now.
Yeah.
And because I'm very career driven right now, I'm gonna have to find a partner that
Stay-at-home dad.
Just say it, yeah. Just
Stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't think I could. I don't know.
But would you even be okay with that, the stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, I'd be vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want kids. He'll take care of my kids. I can go to work and be happy. Like, but okay, but I don't want him to be like
that's
unmotivated, not driven.
Well, that's what I mean.
Eating chips in the morning, laying down watching Netflix. Like, no, not.
So you want like a mix of both?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Okay. And
I think I'm just gonna have to fix it. I think it's hard too for people that want to be in like STEM fields, because we kind of discussed this, especially like women in STEM fields, because they have like Viv saying, like, she knows that she wants kids, like she's known that she wanted kids for a while, and then because she wants to go into a STEM field, which is like, again, like very much more progressive, as you were saying, at how like people are kind of changing their views and how women are getting into like the STEM field a little bit more than like 20-30 years ago, because they were naturally in those like nurturing roles and like roles that didn't require, it was like a 40-hour week and then they were out of there, and they could like, or a shorter amount of hours, and then they were out of there and they could dedicate their time to like raising their kids, or they could go on mat leave and then maybe like be that stay-at-home mom that they want, because they didn't have that connection to their like career as much. They didn't find as much purpose in their career. It was just like they would do it and then they wanted to find purpose with their kids, basically, and which makes sense. Like that goes for anyone, I think. Like even fathers too can find purpose in their kids, obviously.
Someone's gonna have to give though, because like me and Em were talking about it, like your parents are your first relationship, your first like, intimate relationship that you have in your life.
Especially being first-gen immigrants, like you see firsthand what the traditional roles look like.
Exactly, yeah. So you want to make sure that they are being cared for in a proper way.
Yeah. What was I saying? So
I was actually gonna ask, like, though, because like I know we're all first-generation immigrants. The roles that you see like your mother playing in the home, is that not a role you want? Do you want to like upgrade it? Do you just not want the role at all? Like, what do you think about that?
My mom and dad both worked when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah. So both my parents were working parents. It's hard to kind of look at though, because my mom and dad, they found jobs in order to provide for my sister and I. Like it was like jobs that they were actually like passionate about.
Like,
because
they got their purpose out of raising you and your sister.
Yeah, like their purpose moving to Canada was to raise me and my sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to have like more than one purpose now.
Yeah.
Where we can like put our energy into our career as well as like wanting a family. You know, we have that privilege now.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah, I think it's just, it's hard because, like, right now, I'm, like, 99% sure I don't want kids. And, like,
is that because of what you want to do, or is that just...
Just both. No, it derives from, like, just me not wanting to have kids. And then it kind of, like, is good because also with my career, I want to find a little bit of, like, purpose within my career because I am pursuing something that I'm passionate about and, like, want to dedicate time to and find purpose out of that. So yeah, like right now I don't want to have kids, and I think that the career that I want to do, it's gonna dedicate like a little bit. It's gonna require me to dedicate more of my time than like anything like the next job type thing. Not obviously talking shit about any of the jobs, but and I'm okay with that. Like I want to dedicate my time, but like when I'm 30 years old or like 35 years old, and realistically like I'm building my career up, and I finally get to a point where I'm like, this is perfect. Like I've dedicated like a lot of time to this. Like I'm so happy with this. Like I think what's most scary for me is, again, I'm 99% sure, but that 1%, like if I'm 35 and then all of a sudden I'm like, I want to have kids right now. I don't want to have to decide between the two things, because if I do have kids, I'm going to want to be the mom that is there for my kids and not juggling those two 50-50. Because it wouldn't make sense. Like I don't think that'd be fair to my kid. Just from like my own values and like what I would want for my kids. Not saying that it's wrong for anyone else to do that, but I wouldn't want that for my kid. Like I would want to be there for them and like be the role that like my mom was, for example. Because my mom, like when she had me, my sister was first, she was working, and then when she had me was when she had quit her job and then was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad was the only one that worked. And like my dad was like still works like long hours, like everything, but he was there when it was important, which is like amazing, and of course that's great. And then my mom was there to like supplement for when he couldn't. So like in the morning she'd bring us to school, and then like when we wanted to go, like when we went home at night, like she'd be there like prepping dinner for us and like doing that like traditional mother role, which she loved doing, so it makes sense. But I think that I would want to do that for my kids, and I don't think I could do that if I'm pursuing a career that requires like 40 plus or 50 plus hours of me a week, you know?
So then I'm wondering, because like I think roles as a whole, those are kind of like things that you can't leave behind. Like there's always going to be roles in a team, whether it's a family, whether it's a sports team. Like roles are something you can't get rid of. Now how you define them, that is something that can change over time, but the roles are going to be the roles. So now I'm wondering, because like especially like as a male, like I'm thinking, like I've asked myself this question a couple of times, like could I see myself like just in the home? And like every time I've asked myself that question, it's been no. Only because I'm super like I am ambitious, but I'm also like very proactive. Like I don't like to sit down for too long. Like I don't like to feel idle. I don't like to feel like men. I feel like generally are fixers. Like they want to fix problems. They want to find solutions. They don't want to kind of sit and wait for like a problem to arise. So I'm wondering then, like if that's the path that is something that you guys want, like is it maybe not so much is it possible, but it's like do you think down the road, whether 5 or 10 years, however long it is, like men will have more maternal roles? Is that something that's even possible, you think?
I think so. I think an important part of like, if I have the mindset now and like Viv has her mindset and like you kind of like know what you want, is if you are pursuing a relationship, you should be having, we were talking about this too, like you should be having those conversations with your partner like early on. Not saying
before
sit
dating
down for
or
dinner.
during dating?
No, during dating.
I think even before dating, to be honest. Like, what do you mean? But like before being?
I'm saying before dating, because like people enter a relationship they kind of have an idea of where it's going before you get into a relationship. 100%. Especially the older we get. Like it's not like we're in high school where it's like you know, I like this girl, I like this boy, we're in the same class, let's date. Basically, it's no longer that. Like now, like before, you date to date, and as we get older, it's like you date to marry. So I wouldn't sacrifice time. It's like if I use your both example, you guys are working a lot, so time is not something you have a lot of. So to invest that time in somebody that is not going to say play a role in like the life that you've envisioned doesn't really make sense. So I'm wondering then, like going forward, is that like the whole, like for me, like the whole father being a maternal thing is hard to kind of wrap your head around. So like, is that, so you're saying you think that's something that, you know, down the road, that is something that's possible? Also, I kind of feel like that would also cause like conflict down the line.
I think that, I think it's possible. I think that there is definitely some disconnect of like a father completely being in that maternal role, which I don't even know if that's fair to say because there are single fathers and stuff like that. But I think I
don't know, because biologically, like women are made to nurture and care for people. Like that's just our second nature. Even when you're in a relationship, like that's what you do for your partner, like unintentionally too. So It's hard to say, honestly. And like I can say that right now, like, oh, I want to stay at home dad, blah blah blah. Like I can stand by that. But like in all honesty, like knowing the person I am, like if I'm nurturing, like okay, this sounds weird. I'm nurturing my exes, for example, guys I dated. Okay. I'm gonna be inclined to want to nurture my children, and obviously like my love and my focus is gonna shift from my career towards them. But
I think too with the shift of like men taking on more maternal roles, I think there's just again, it depends on who your partner is. Like, if there is that shift of like a man taking over a little bit more of like the roles of raising a kid, there would just be a natural like evenness with the woman as well of like taking over some other roles and responsibilities, so that there's kind of an evenness, so that both parents are involved in the child's life and like can take over the roles of like raising them more, so it's not all one-sided like that traditional role. I don't know my point with it, but
no, because I mean, like for me at least, and this is what I've seen in my home, and this is what I've seen in other homes, and when I see a lack of it, it becomes a problem. A lack of discipline, like a lack of discipline, and discipline usually comes from the father side of things. It's like,
oh, you're saying like children?
Yeah, children. Yes, as far as children are concerned, like everybody hates, like for instance, like a spoiled brat or a boy who knows no discipline. And as he grows up, like that discipline, if that role is not there, or if there's too much of discipline, it becomes a problem. If there's too less, then it's still a problem. So it's looking for that right balance. But then if there's say too much discipline and there's not enough nurturing, that also becomes a problem. And that also, I would say, largely becomes a confidence problem, because I've had the conversation, I don't know if it was with you or I had it with somebody else, where I was saying, you know, I feel like there's like a group of people, especially in first generation immigrants, whereby, you know, their parents were consistently comparing them to other kids or to family members. And, you know, you live in an environment like that, and as you go down the line, you start doing it without your parents even saying a word.
Echo chamber.
Exactly. So you go into school and you're comparing yourself to somebody else. You leave school, you're still comparing yourself to somebody else. And that might be a good motivator for some people, whereby envy can lead to success. Like I might want to be successful because I want to be better than that person. But once I'm better than that person, that's not the end. Like I'm gonna have to find somebody else.
It's like a never-ending cycle.
Exactly.
It is. I think also you were talking about like how discipline comes from the dad's side. I think that's also something too that has to have some type of like balance in it, because if I feel if there's those typical roles of like the dad being strict and like the one disciplining and the mom being the one that's nurturing, that there's gonna be like a natural like disconnect or like hatred towards one parent and not the other. And then I like the idea of like, if I do end up raising a kid with my husband one day, like I would want us to be more of like on a united front than rather than there be that role of like, okay, dad does this and he controls like the punishments, for lack of a better word, and like disciplines and stuff, and then like I'm the one that's gonna be nurturing and stuff, because I don't want my kid to have a resentment for my husband, basically.
I was in that was like my household. My dad was the one disciplining me, making me do crazy routines, and my mom was like this angel. Like, when I was a kid, that's what I thought. I was like this angel. And then I had resentment towards my dad for up until high school. And so I agree with them.
I would never want that like on my kid, for sure. And that's why I think I like the idea of there being a little bit more of like evenness in the roles that like both partners assume.
Those roles though, again, like first gen parents. Like that's just what it is.
No, it is. It is, but I also think like using my own experience, because even when I was younger, like I felt like my dad was always a strict one, and my mom would like give me whatever I want, or if I wanted this, and my dad would always get like upset at that because he wanted me to learn my lesson. And it's tough to teach a lesson when somebody else is giving you a way out every single time. So then like it's only until now really that I understand, like for instance, actually biggest eye opener when I went to university and I lived away from home, and I realized that not everybody was raised the same way.
Oh my god, I feel this on a different level.
No, no.
And then you're like, wow, dad was right.
Exactly. And he said it every time.
Cleaning, washing the dishes and stuff like that. I was like, oh, you guys are dirty.
But exactly. So yeah, that's crazy. I've been too crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But then again, like to counter what Emmy said, then like it's not something that you see in the first 10 years, especially as like the strictness and the discipline is concerned. That's something that's supposed to grow as you get older, because I can't tell you how many times as a kid I say, "Oh, I hate you, Dad. I hate you, Dad," and that kind of stuff. And obviously, I meant it at the time, but now I don't mean it because I understand 100%. What it meant. But if I didn't have that, that would have been a problem for me. Because again, if I use the university example, went to university. For some reason, I lived in this like cloud thinking everybody's raised the same, everybody does the same thing at home because that's how I was raised. Went into a situation and I'm realizing, okay, not everybody's raised the same, and not even that. Well, exactly. Well, no, honestly, exactly. Oh, PS for pressure. But no, that. But also that, like, I'm thankful that my dad raised me the way I did. But it's not something you realize until after, which is why, like, when I hear these conversations, I'm thinking to myself, okay, obviously, like, how kids react to discipline is different. Some kids lash out. Some kids become resentful of their fathers. I don't know if that's so much on the father than it is actually on the kid, or maybe the environment that the kid was raised up in.
I agree with everything you said, because my relationship with my dad was 10 times better after I moved out of my house. And again, like, I started to appreciate everything he taught me, like every single, it came down to like, oh, that makes sense why you did that. But there's a degree too, because I feel like my dad, for example, just bring him into it. He, although he disciplined me well, he also lacked like empathy and emotional intelligence in a way. Just because the way he was raised, it doesn't have to do with, like, it's not his fault or anything, but a lot, like, lack of compassion, and that's why I lashed out. It wasn't because I was being disciplined and I hated the fact that I had to wake up at 8 a.m. and do this.
Math problems.
Do math problems.
Is that actually what you have to do?
Stereotypes is true, guys.
Wait. Is that actually what you have to do?
No, on Saturdays I would, I had a routine. I'd wake up, I'd go to swim class, and then I do piano or guitar, and then I do math. And I do
until when?
Math for like 3 hours, but I learned like a year ahead of me.
Just 3 hours.
So if I was in grade 3, I'd be learning grade 4 math. If I was in grade 4, I'd be learning grade 5 math at this tutor. So like, no, it's called top class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Top of my class. I'm just joking.
Jeez. I read the jeez.
But yeah, it wasn't because I resented him because of that. Because that made me who I am today for being like an academic. You know what I mean? But I was resented to him because he lacked compassion back then, and I didn't understand why. Now I understand why, and now that's why we built a better relationship.
So then,
I was just gonna say, so do you think now your relationship with your dad is better? Like, way better?
Way better, because one, I'm more mature. Like, even I gain more emotional intelligence, and I don't have to be like, oh my god, this guy. You know what I mean? And like, I can just talk to him like an adult. Like, he'll lash out sometimes and be like, come on. And he'll be like, you're right. And he'll just like walk away.
So there's been like growth in him.
Yeah, there's been growth in him too.
Yeah. I'm just thinking too about like I know some people that like their dads have no like growth at all. And it's hard because like being young, especially being a young teenager and like a girl, you like, and for your dad to constantly be on you and like guilt trip you and be this like, you know, and not have any growth, and to have that like really distant relationship with your father, I think that can really be harmful to especially a young woman's growth. Because you're learning how a man can
like masculinity.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your first introduction.
Exactly. So for example, attachment styles.
Yeah.
That goes into attachment styles.
Yeah.
Do you know what yours is?
I don't know what mine is. Do you know?
Do I know what yours is?
Yeah.
I mean, if you give me 20 minutes, I can find out.
No, I actually don't know.
Okay. I'm scared.
No, don't.
I'll give you an example for me.
Okay.
So because my dad lacked compassion, and because my first relationship when I was 16, and that was for the next 4 years of my life, was very toxic. So just think about it. Both ends, both relationships were just very, how do I say this, like
detrimental to growth.
Kinda, yeah. But it's damaging, and it gave me a tainted picture of what a relationship should be with my partner. Okay, so whether that's like, for example, my dad like is uncomfortable when he says "I love you" back. And then my first boyfriend was just very emotionally abusive, right? So you can see where my attachment style would shift to, and I became more avoidant towards my relationship, getting out of both of those, or healing from those relationships, because I had this picture that love was tainted and aggressive.
This is what it's like.
Exactly. And when I started dating my most recent ex, like for example, I would raise my voice at him, and he'd be like, "Babe, like I'm not having this conversation with you until like you are talking to me like a normal person." I'm like,
wow, that was different. I was like, wow, this is how a healthy relationship is supposed to be like.
And like again, like I didn't know how to be loved properly. So like when I was dating my most recent ex, he'd be his love language was physical touch and words of affirmation. I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hang out with me? Yeah. Oh, you want to like hug me? You want to touch me? Like no. Yeah. So that's when I learned to grow out of my avoidant attachment style. So that's where I get mine from.
Yours is also avoidant.
It's avoidant, and I find that like I also have some forms of like anxious attachment as well. And I think
it's a mix of both.
There's
like,
a
I don't know
mix
if
of
I
both.
can mix, to be honest, but
There
that's
is.
just okay.
The anxious
avoidant.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I find that like one of the things that I struggle with is like disappointing people and people being upset with me. And I think that also probably stemmed from my childhood as well, because I would get like praised for getting good grades, for example, and like praised for like being a good student or like being a good piano player, whatever it was. So I would like crave that kind of like reassurance basically. So I feel like my own psychological analysis of myself, that's where it must have like came from, a part of it at least. So I find that like even in my friendships too, like I'm always worried like, did I do something wrong? Is this person upset with me perhaps? Even in my relationship now, like I'm learning we don't have to text every hour of every day. And just because like his reply is like a simple like reply of okay, and there's nothing like no emojis.
No emojis.
No, but it's something.
Yeah, I put emojis
like
in every message.
Yeah.
I put like an angel. Remember that one?
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, just because.
My favorite's the raised eyebrow one.
Oh my god, I love that one.
Do it to the camera.
If I could do the money signs with the
that's you.
Just put like dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars?
Coins.
In your eyes. But yeah, just a stupid example. Or like if I text him and he doesn't reply, like he doesn't hate me. Like, and I have to remind, like I find myself now, growing through that and realizing like, okay, when I do have that mindset, okay, like I need to go back and like I just saw him yesterday, like we hung out, like had a great time together, we were able to like express our different love languages to each other with like like words of affirmation, time together, like that type of stuff, like acts of service, whatever, and everything went so well, and I need to like chill. Like I need to realize that like this is not something.
Because you said your parents are like attached. Like you said your parents are always together.
Very, very much so together. So that's honestly that's probably
because you're saying like even when they go to
therapy right now.
No, because you're telling me even when they go to work, you said they work together, and like your mom, the first thing she's like, where's your father? Where's your dad? Okay, that makes sense because I think, well, I would say I think, but I feel like I know at this point only because I've had so many conversations that there's a lot of people trying to build something they've never seen in the home. So like my relationship most likely is going to be like my parents' relationship if I'm not careful. It depends if that's what I want or if that's what I don't want. Because inevitably I will copy their relationship or I'll look for similar things in what they have. Just I feel like psychologically without thinking about it. And then you have like a generation of people where it's like, you know, if it's not my parents' thing that I want, then I try to find something else for myself. And the biggest problem I think is that people look online for that. So they look at either celebrities or athletes like this is what I want, and you see it all the time. Goals, like, and if you believe in the power of what you say, like people will say goals to something before they even see how it ends, and then it'll end. But before, that's what you said what you wanted. So don't be surprised if you get what you wanted. So if you set goals under, you know, the relationship of a celebrity or whoever it is, like there it is. Like I've seen, there's even what was the popular one? Meek and Nicki at one point in time. Everybody was saying goals, and you saw how that ended. And a lot of these relationships actually end up messy. Like they end messy, and then you look, it kind of models. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think the reason why people are inclined to be like, goals is because, and they forget, there's one big thing they forget.
Mm-hmm.
These people live a way different lifestyle than us.
Mhm.
So everything you see in terms of roses on the floor on Valentine's Day,
Talk about it.
yeah. Do you really think the
Mhm.
guy that you're trying to find at the next door bar is gonna do that for you?
Mhm.
Like, no.
A Rolex on the bed.
Yeah, Rolex
Yeah.
on the bed? Unfortunately not.
Mhm.
That's the hot take. I'm so sorry.
No, I don't even think that's a hot take. It's not even a hot take.
But and that's what people are driven for, and like that's why they post goals. It's,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense. You have to be realistic a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, were you gonna say something?
No, I wasn't gonna say.
Oh no? Okay. So then okay, interesting. So then I wanna go we can start there, but I also wanna go towards like growth and friendships, because that's something
Yeah.
like I feel like you guys have talked about a lot, and I've
Yeah.
also had like a lot of conversation with friends, and we had it with Luke yesterday where he said, as you grow older, or as you gain more experience, like you guys might start here, but as time goes by, one person starts to slowly rise, and then that's not even like status or money. That's just in terms of what they want,
Yeah.
maturity, the
Yeah.
decisions they
Different
make,
paths.
Yeah.
different paths, so on and so forth.
Yep.
I would say the path that's not the biggest thing. It's more so like the decisions that I make. Like, are they in
I
line?
think it's like the emotional maturity. and
Exactly. Like, am I still doing the
Yeah.
same things I did 5 years ago?
Exactly.
Or the same things I did
Yes.
10 years ago. And
Exactly.
as the time goes, like one person rises above the other. And then he said it's, the only way they can meet again is either if this person comes down here or if this person decides to go up here. But you have no control over whether this person comes up and meets you where you are. So that's when you make the decision to say, unfortunately, this isn't something that we can have anymore, only because you didn't hold on. Because it's not the
Yeah.
other way around.
I also think that you have to be fluid to changing your dynamic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
say I'm on a higher emotional maturity level
Mhm.
than the next person beside me,
Mhm.
and the only reason why this wouldn't work out is because they're not open to changing their dynamic, and
Mhm.
they're holding on to what was.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
No, the perfect
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
Mhm.
Like me and you at Trappers 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Holy.
and
Never stepped foot in that place again.
Yeah, never stepped foot in
Never
that place
again. Never
heard
again.
of that place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's all about being open to changing their dynamic and kind of open to change too, and not
Mhm.
holding that person back, because if that, like you're saying, this person meets the next person down here,
Mhm.
that person's gonna hold a lot of resentment
Mhm.
towards their friend.
Yeah, definitely.
1,000%. And then I don't think that no matter like if the resentment's already there,
Mhm.
I don't think there's a lot of saving the friendship then, which
Yeah,
is
I agree.
yeah.
Because
It
even
can be-
like when we talked, oh sorry, were you?
No, I was just gonna say it can be like having resentment can be very detrimental to a friendship. I think.
Or just a relationship in general.
Yeah, or a
And that's
relationship, yeah,
actually,
for
if you
sure.
wanted to talk about like marriage relationship, like one person giving away, actually, one person having to give up what they want, whether it's a career
Yeah.
or a passion, because this person also wants to do that, and they have to. It's not that they're going lower, but they have to do something that they never thought. Sacrifice,
Exactly.
the big S word,
Yeah.
that they never thought they'd have to do,
Anything.
also breeds resentment. Shit, I always hate that word. That's hilarious.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice, but
Yeah,
but
exactly.
even I think when we were talking at dinner, I was saying, like the problem is, it's not so much that you outgrow people or that people change. It's just they met you at a certain stage in your
Yeah.
life. So whether if it was university, we use as an example, or high school, like
Mhm.
I was this person in high school,
Mhm.
and like we had fun while I was
Yeah.
this person in high school, but
Yeah.
I'm no longer that person.
Yeah.
But every time I spend time with you, I become that person again. So
Yeah.
is that a problem? Like, is basically actually, I would actually ask you this question: do you think it's harder to make the decision to cut or the decision to drop down to where you used to be?
Why would you? I feel like there's a lack of emotional maturity if you were dropping down to where you used to be for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's putting their feelings
Yeah.
before yours, especially if it's not something that you want to do. You're
Yeah.
doing it to like keep that friendship alive or a relationship alive
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
So which is harder, do you think? Making the decision to cut or making the decision to go back down?
I think
Because
it depends on the person.
both are painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
think that it would be more long-term hurt if you decide to go back down because you're
Yeah.
just gonna like
Mm-hmm.
probably resent yourself, resent that person.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that might be the easier way,
Mm-hmm.
and then the harder is to like let go of that person.
Yeah.
At least for me,
Mhm.
it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. What about you?
It's a good evaluation.
Because I think for me too, like, I would much rather expense myself than to like disappoint another person. If that
You'd
makes
rather
sense.
put yourself at their expense than
Yeah,
to
sorry,
disappoint them.
that's
Okay.
Exactly.
And that's like something that I shouldn't do, because then again I'm just gonna be upset with myself.
Resentful as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go do whatever me and that person
Mhm.
were used to doing, and then I'm gonna go home at the end of the night or end of the day, and I'm gonna be like, okay, why? Like I am not happy with what I just did.
Mhm.
But at least I'm still maintaining that friendship, and like for it's not like a sustainable way to be at all. But just for me, like that would be my first like obviously something I'm growing, like I'm trying to get through, because that's not how I should be, and like doesn't make sense. Because again, I'm also just not gonna be giving a good part of myself to that person too. I feel like I'm just gonna
And you're gonna feel uncomfy. You're gonna feel like you're surpassing your own boundaries. And that feeling is like yuck.
Makes my tummy
But
turn.
it's also that feeling of, especially depending on how long you've been friends with this person, not wanting to leave them behind. Because you've had so many good memories, or you might know the family is always a tough one if you know their family.
That's like a relationship too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So those things are hard to cut off. So it's
100%.
also, you know their families, you might know their siblings. Like this goes way deeper than just a friendship.
Sorry, side note. I always say the hardest part about leaving or like friendships or your partner is their grandparents.
Well, you meet their grandparents.
Yeah.
You never met anybody's grandparents.
They're the best. Grandparents are the best. Yeah.
Never met anybody's grandparents.
Okay, anyways.
You wanna come to my grandparents' house?
Well, I need to meet Rezik first.
Oh.
He has a pet rat?
I was just gonna say that you should come do a podcast with you.
Yo, honestly,
Raz would rip
insane.
you apart.
no chance.
He would rip you apart.
What the hell's going on
Like,
over here?
Physically.
Huh?
Physically?
Mentally.
Mentally.
Mentally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to have a conversation with him though.
Dog, did Viv tell you what she said, like, when they surprised me on my birthday?
No. What did
So we're surprising Emma on her birthday. I was gonna make rosé.
you do?
No, not rosé.
Risotto.
Sorry. And so I brought white wine,
Uh-huh.
and I've used it before to cook like pasta. So it was open, and there was alcohol, like taken from it. So the bottle was like kind of half empty. So I walked into Emma's kitchen with like a box of ingredients to make risotto, and the bottle's right there. And her dad looks at me, he's like, "What the hell are you doing? Drinking and driving?"
Is that what he said?
Walks in, that's the first thing, yeah.
That's the first thing he said to me.
Yeah.
And then he called me crazy for eating spicy.
Oh, you think she's nuts?
Yeah.
But he thinks.
That girl, she's insane. I have videos of him.
But he thinks I'm sick, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
like,
okay, I actually have a question. Online dating, what do you think?
Holy so whiplash.
I don't think me and Em can talk on this because we have never online dated.
Would you ever?
I'm so sorry. I'm
No,
house
it's
manners.
Would you ever?
Not right. Like I don't feel the need to really go on dating apps right now in my life. I can't speak for future Viv, but yeah, I've never been on a dating app. I can't really speak on it, but it is. I find it weird that you are looking for love.
Wait, what do you mean?
I find it an interesting, not weird.
No, yeah, just
a very interesting concept. Because I've been, man, I can only speak from my experiences because I feel like for me, everything has came naturally in like the relationships I've had. But to be fair, like we have Instagram, and that's pretty much
dating
our
app.
dating
Yeah.
app. Yeah.
I mean,
so,
a lot of people on Instagram too.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like even my mindset before being in the relationship I am right now was like, I don't want a relationship. That I don't want the commitment.
Yeah.
Not even because like I necessarily wanted to talk to the people, just because I was in a stage of my life where like nothing was set in stone for me in terms of like my career or what I wanted to do with school and like moving out, just everything that happens basically after university. Everything was so up in the air for me, and I always had the mindset of like, I want to get these things sorted out before I decide to commit to a person, because I don't feel, for lack of a better word, like worthy, or like that I want to let someone else in on like these struggles of like being a post-grad basically.
Yeah. And
I never really wanted to open up about like, oh I applied to this job today to the people that I was talking to.
Yeah.
But I've realized too, like, I don't know why I started talking about this. Dating apps?
Dating apps,
okay.
yeah.
So I've realized too that like, again, I wasn't looking for a relationship. But being in the relationship that I am now, like I was talking to this person, I was talking to him like every single day for like a year because he was living out of province, so we would like keep up with each other. I think I've told you this too, like just texting and like we FaceTime and all that. And he was someone too that like I would always tell Viv, I'm like, I really like value having this person in my life because we have such good conversation. Like I really look forward to talking to him, all this, and I don't want to lose this person as a friend because I like value this friendship so much. I don't know if I want to move it into a relationship basically. So the whole time I had been so against a relationship. And I'm bringing this up because Viv said like it's like not her cup of tea to like search for love basically, which like again the kind
which
of
by the way, if it is your cup of tea, like no judgment there. I think online dating is
disclaimer.
We're
not trying to cancel.
Well, to be honest, it's probably going to be the future because if what you're saying is, you know, you want to work and you want to have a career, you're not going to have time to meet people out. It's very unlikely.
How about someone in the industry?
Exactly.
Would you? Somebody who does the same thing as you?
Honestly.
Stay-at-home dad.
I don't know, but again, like I'm very open-minded. I'm not saying like I want someone I want a stay-at-home dad. Like that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm not off track. Sorry.
No, you're saying online.
Oh yeah, sorry. So when I did like kind of step into this relationship and we did start hanging out and stuff, and I was like, okay, I really like this person. Like, I finally found someone that I kind of want to like talk to about struggles and trials and tribulations of being a freaking 21-year-old, 22-year-old confused in life, and like want to let him in on like, hey, I found this cool job, or like, hey, like I'm want to start this new like hobby. Check out my cool video, me playing piano. And I think that is like, for me, I really like how that whole kind of like our whole timeline led into, because I wasn't searching for something, and because I wasn't searching for it, it wasn't like I wasn't pressuring it to happen.
It came natural.
And it came really naturally, which I like we were talking about yesterday that we really both like. But we were also talking about you too. And
they always just talk about me. They always psychoanalyze.
I saw your close friend story you posted.
What?
What the hell? And
I have to explain that. That was due to their spending problem.
I don't have a spending problem.
No, we can talk about it. You guys said you feel like you're at therapy.
Okay, but what do you think about online dating?
What do I think? Oh, you guys asking me questions.
Because you've experienced Tinder, right?
I haven't experienced Tinder. No, I haven't experienced Tinder.
So.
Well, we're at university, so we.
Yeah, you were a different breed there.
Anyways. I think all the power to you. Like, it's hard to find someone, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like when maybe you're like a lot like social and you meet a lot of people and you like meet through mutuals.
You're in a lot of different environments as well.
Exactly, yeah. You can meet a lot of people through there, and I feel like having exposure to both of those can be just so like overstimulating. Of like constantly meeting people and then being on dating apps and like, you know, you're kind of like pulling yourself a lot of different ways.
And it takes your energy too, right? You do that.
Yeah, and this is like I'm talking about this in terms of Viv because I know that she doesn't like dating apps like that, and that's what we were psychoanalyzing. I'm like, hey, she meets so many people through like her program and like through friends of friends, and like you know, like our like social media friends that we have that like we meet other people through and all that stuff.
At this point, word of mouth spreads.
Exactly.
Like, hey, I have this friend named Viv.
Exactly. Anyways,
stop talking about me, guys.
But yeah, so I feel like for her, like it's a little bit easier because you are meeting those people. But for someone that's like, you know, stuck in a routine of like going to school, going home, kind of shy, and then wants to get on dating apps, like it makes sense. Like how else are you gonna meet someone? And that's just my mindset.
You explained it really well, actually.
Thank you. You did a good psychoanalyzing.
Well, to be honest, for me, because you asked me. I don't have anything against them. I believe in friends before relationships. Like, I still believe in that. Yeah. And I think it's tough to do that over a phone. I think, well, for me at least, I think it's tough. I think the way things are already, it's already tough to find yourself in like a stable or sustainable relationship. Yeah. And I don't think that makes things easier, personally, because people carry things around with them, and it's kind of harder, obviously not to psychoanalyze people, but to gauge that over a phone than it is like face to face and reading. Like, I like to read body language.
Okay, but I think I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like for Hinge and Tinder,
Mhm.
you initially meet on the phone, but you can quickly like expedite that process and meet in person, and hang out in person, and then gauge their body language and gauge how they.
But the thing with that is, I think that usually happens in a very short amount of time, and I think.
Sorry.
Oh no! I think it happens in a short amount of time, and I think, well, to quote my friend Luke, he said, "Time tells all tales." But he's not here. He's over there. But he said that, and I've always had like a similar saying to that, where it's like you can't, like people say you can know more about one person in a week than you can in a year, and I'm sure that is true, but that's not the majority. Like I can't learn about a person in a week in comparison to a year. So I think time is very important, especially when it comes to whether it's reading a person, whether it's honesty. Like for instance, like I need to know how somebody is in every season of their life. So when they're sad, when they're upset,
Important.
how they act when they're disappointed, when they don't get what they want,
Yeah.
how they treat people in different environments.
1000%,
These are very important to me.
Yeah.
I can't gauge that in a week or over one or two I guess dates or meetups. Like you can't.
But you
I
can
can't
take
gauge
time
that.
and go. But
Mhm.
what
But
you're
the
trying
thing
to
with
say
app is like it's quick. It's very quick.
Yeah.
It's like if this person is not,
It literally makes
if
it
this-
expedite.
expedite
basically.
the process.
Yeah.
Like if this person is not it for me, I can just move on to the next
Yeah,
person.
that's
Yeah.
true.
So-
And you're not investing time into people.
And you want to
Mhm.
start that foundation of a friendship first.
Exactly, and that's not.
I was also gonna say, it's freaky. I think that I personally am uncomfortable with online dating is because on Hinge you put like your interests and what you like to do. When you show like kind of more an elaborate, comprehensive person, but a lot of people can use that as a way to. And I'm saying this in a very like. This doesn't happen all the time, okay? If you're on Hinge, you're doing just fine. But you're doing But people can use that and kind of take advantage of it and not manipulate you into like thinking they have similar interests in
It
you.
is manipulation, though.
But yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah, no, it is because
Peter said it.
It is because for me to describe myself as somebody I'm not is manipulation.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also depends if you believe in actions over words. I can't read actions over a screen.
Exactly.
So if you tell me, I'm this person, I like this, like that, like I have to take your word
like,
for it.
oh, I like to eat this. Oh, same.
Yeah, like like I like pho. And
Yeah. Nice.
Is that nice?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I like pho too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never had.
I actually tried it for the first time last week. It's really good.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's really good. Did you know that
What country is it from?
shoot. Is
Was
it
it?
Taiwan or is it Vietnam?
Uh-huh.
I think it's Vietnam.
Is it Vietnam?
Yeah.
Oh, so are you Vietnamese?
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
You don't have a restaurant?
Huh?
You don't have a restaurant?
No.
No? That we can visit? You don't want to shout out your restaurant?
It's Vietnam.
I know. Wait, you should search it up?
Yeah.
Adam, I'm Vietnamese. I was joking.
And you didn't know?
She has a restaurant.
Oh.
It's
You didn't know?
Vietnam.
He's like,
That's my favorite
he's
part.
like in his head, he's like uncultured swine.
Because what's wrong with you?
He's like fact check. He's like, a minute here.
She's like
so-
Taiwan or Vietnam.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh man, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Dating apps are interesting.
They are interesting.
And yeah, I do like the idea of meeting friends first and like
Mhm.
getting to know that person more comprehensively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because again, it's so easy to like.
Where's the
hide.
line, though,
What do you mean?
between friendship and relationship? Because when you get to talk to somebody, like you said, like every day, like where do you draw the line in the conversation?
Well, I don't know if there's.
Do you know what I mean?
It's really easy to tell if it's platonic or not.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
like
think
if
so.
I'm. Yeah.
Mhm.
If I'm asking about your day and you're telling me about your day, that's
Yeah.
platonic.
Okay.
I'm asking about your day and I'm like, oh, like next time me and you can,
Mhm.
I can be a part of your day. Like, okay, that was
Okay,
terrible.
nobody. Yeah, I don't know anybody.
Clearly, I don't have game.
Yeah, you have zero. What?
Clearly, I have no
I've never
game.
heard that before. I don't know.
But
And you gotta
but
talk
like
about
you
that.
can just tell. I can
Yeah.
tell when a guy's being just my friend, and I can tell when a guy's being really flirty with me. Again, I've only had both.
But that's
extremes.
personalities too, kind of.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like we have friends that are flirty, but they're not. They don't.
Ooh, like a guy friend that's flirty. That's
Guy
Draw
friend
them out.
or female
Draw
friend.
them out. I'm just joking. No, I don't think any of my guy friends are flirty with me.
You have flirty female friends?
With me?
With myself.
No, obviously not with you, but just in general that have flirty personalities.
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No, okay.
Yeah. I know what you're trying to say.
Mhm, that's
but
what I
But
mean.
if it's like a strong
Because it's
friendship-
friendly, but I mean it's friendly, but it can be mistaken. That's what I'm saying. Where do you draw the line? Because it's like, how was your day, or do you want to do this, or you know, like remembering little things. Because people like people that remember the little things. Like if you told me, hey, I did this the other day, and I come back a week after and say, hey, how was that? Like, do you take that as like a friendship thing, or do you take that? Oh yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can take that as a friendship thing. I feel like if you did that with me, I feel like that's
Okay, not
Just
obviously
awful.
not me, but I'm just saying in general. Like if you were talking to a guy and he remembered something like you did like a week before, or how was that? Or you said it was your mom's birthday the other day. Oh, how was your mom's birthday party? Like
I don't
you.
think that's flirting.
No?
Yeah.
No, because I do that to people all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's just being
But it can be mistaken.
present.
It can be,
It can
and
be
I can
mistaken,
see
is what I'm
where
trying
it
to say.
can be.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah, there's a little bit of gray area there. But for me, I wouldn't take that as flirty. No.
So what would you take as flirty? Just-
Asking
Uh-huh.
someone dates.
Yeah.
That's it?
Usually guys are pretty direct. these
Really?
days,
You
Yeah.
I
think
guess
so?
we can only talk from our own experience.
Yeah, I can only talk from my own experience, but
Mhm.
like all the guys that I've
It's gonna
talked
be
to
our quote.
are very
Direct.
direct. Yeah.
Tutor?
I literally know the first like few messages.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not in an obnoxious way, just apparently enough. Yeah.
You can kind of gauge what they're
Yeah,
trying to
you
get
can
at.
just gauge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Where do you draw the line?
Where do I draw the line? Where?
Between-
Like, how do you how do you make it known that like if you're talking to a girl, you're pursuing her rather than
Mhm.
just being friends with her?
How do I make it known? Well, if I
Yeah.
share that, then people get the sauce.
That's
Isn't
the
this
whole
what?
point.
Yeah, isn't this what it's about?
Yeah, Peter. We can't just draw ourselves out this whole
Yeah.
time.
Okay, what's the question again?
Like, how do you make it known that you're trying to pursue a girl rather than just be her friend? Like, what are some key differences that you find that you do in conversation and stuff?
Well, I find I'm pretty friendly, and I'm very playful, so I like to joke around. That can easily be mistaken, which is why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as like what I would do, I feel like I'm more subtle because I'm still trying to, like I said, like for me, like I want to know how somebody is in like every like season of their life. So how they
Yeah.
are when they're disappointed, how they are when they're mad, they're
Yeah.
sad. So I like to poke the bear a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, like it's very very situational. I would say for me personally, it's more so seeing them outside of like the phone. So it's seeing them outside of the text and trying to gauge like from there whether it's conversation. Actually, I had this conversation with a friend the other day because he was saying that he thinks it's pretty difficult to date nowadays and stuff like that because
Yeah.
you have to meet, it's tough meeting either the girl's parents, the girl's friends. They have to like you. The friends have to like you.
I mean,
The
Riz.
parents have to like you. Like everybody has to like you and that kind of stuff. And he was saying like he would take like a first girl out or a girl out on a first date somewhere like social. And I said for me personally, I would probably rather do something quieter, kind of like a walk, only because like when things get awkward in a social environment, you have the noise. Like I would rather know how
Go in
somebody
those
is
uncomfortable
in like a a
situations.
quiet conversation where like if nobody says a word, it's just quiet. Like I'd rather that. Some people are uncomfortable with that. I'd rather that because I know if you can do that, if we're in a social environment, then that's no problem.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on in the background.
Yeah.
So it would probably be like the uncomfortable, I guess you could say, walk or somewhere where there's not like a lot of noise or there's not a lot of, essentially not a lot of noise, and then go from there. That for me would probably be the first thing, just so I can gauge.
Yeah.
If I can't like, it's one thing to text. Texting is pretty easy because you have like time to, I can say this or I can scribble this out and then I
Yeah.
can say that. Like you can edit and rewrite.
Yeah.
In person, it's like whatever you say or however you talk, that's how people gauge you. If you never said a word to me, I wouldn't know who you are. It's only until you open your mouth and you start to speak that I start to draw a picture of, okay, this is how this person is. So yeah, that would be it for me.
Sometimes that picture takes longer than others. Though.
But it should though. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It
For
should.
sure.
It shouldn't be
Yeah.
expedited, which is
For
why I
sure.
said.
For
Which is
sure.
why I said like
Yeah.
the online dating thing. It's just not for me because I feel like it's expedited. Like people
Yeah.
go there with an expectation,
And
like
yeah,
before the
Very
fact.
true, yeah. I agree
Exactly,
with that.
exactly. And I agree with what Em said of in terms of like we're already meeting. If you're already in an environment where you're consistently meeting new people and putting yourself out there,
Mhm.
that can drain energy
Mhm.
as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how, like, were you in a relationship in a year and still learning about your partner?
I'm sorry.
Like when you were in a relationship a year and you were still learning about your boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Same. I still,
Yeah.
we're still like putting all the pieces together.
Yeah, there's
Right, right,
so
right.
much intricacies in a person
Mm-hmm.
that you have to learn. That,
Yeah.
So then
Takes time.
It's the
That's your
foundational
favorite.
thing.
That was your favorite quote for a while.
What? Take time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that for time.
Yeah.
Shout out
Take some
Josh.
time.
Shout out Joshua Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You guys want to say
Oh, we're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, it's not on you.
Oh.
Awkward.
It was on Peter. You got really personal there.
Who, me?
Mhm.
I lied? Holy, I just gave away the blueprint.
I know.
Now girls gonna be like, this guy's
No.
not taking me out on walks. This guy's not serious.
Are we?
Are we saying bye?
Yeah. Add that
Bye.
to the bloopers.
Bye.
Holy
Wait.
smokes.
Bloopers?
Yep. Oh, the first 15, 20 minutes, that was lovely.
Oh god.
When we were talking about Resig, I'm gonna send
Hi
that to him.
friends. Thanks for watching. Please don't cancel us.
Yeah.
If you want us back, we can do some more.
I'm only talking from my
Hot takes.
experience.
I don't
We're only
think
talking from our experience.
I don't think we said anything that was cancelable.
You can if you want.
You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, off camera.